Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about customers versus ambassadors and why both are equally to our business and why sometimes we kind of don't know quite what to do with them. So I'm going to just run down what a customer is in Plexus and then what an ambassador is and what they need to qualify. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the compensation plan so that we can learn about the compensation plan and how that affects all of that. Okay, so um, the compensation plan to me is one of the most easiest, but sometimes people kind of get a little bit messed up with it a little bit because we get paid 11 different ways. So it's kind of like, where does the money come from? I want to know. Some people are very detailed. I'm just like, Plexus has got it looked after. All I got to go out and do is bring people in. Plexus will look after everything else. But there are some people that are more detailed and they like to work on agendas and they have their own little mindset. So customers, it is great to have customers on your team because they actually will, on a monthly basis, kind of like grow your commission in a different way than what ambassadors do. So it's a more controlled environment when you have customers because you can actually look at their order and say, okay, this person ordered a bag of Slim. I know I'm going to get $20 commission from them. This person ordered a pack of Joyum. I know I'm going to get so much commission off of them. So you can kind of, with customers, you can kind of know what you're going to get for your PV at the end of the month and what that check is going to be like from your customer side of things on the compensation plan versus ambassadors. We never know sometimes when somebody's going to put an order in or they're not going to. It doesn't matter. Like, it just depends on what their month looks like, right? So now for us, you're showing up on a Sunday night. I'm assuming everybody has their 100 PV in probably by now because you're showing up for a meeting. That means you're engaged. That means you're part of the team. You're looking to learn, and us as learners, as leaders, should always have our 100 PV in as soon as possible and train your team to do that too when they're building their business, because that 100 PV, as we'll learn through the compensation plan, is the whole kicker of the compensation plan. You could have 100 customers. Well, no, that would not be right because customers actually work towards your own PV. So you could not have your own 100 PV through, and a customer's PV will qualify you to run commission. So that's the beauty of Plexus too. So preferred customers versus retail. Retail is a one-time purchase. So if you don't follow up with that retail customer, 9 chances out of 10, they probably won't order again unless they're a really keen person and they message you and they tell you they want to order. But follow-up is key with everything. So you'd have to, with a retail customer, be following up with them about, for sure, on a weekly basis when they get their products, but then also definitely about 3 weeks in, you want to touch base with them about, are you wanting to order again? And if you are, that's when you have to have the conversation. Do you want to be a preferred customer and get an extra 10% off? Or do we want to roll you into an ambassadorship? Like, what does that look like to you now? So you want to make sure if you have a retail customer, you're following up with them like any customer or new ambassador weekly, but then about week 3, about closing the sale on that retail customer to become a preferred or an ambassador. So preferred customer is all of our products have a PV, all of our products have a preferred customer bonus attached to them. So for example, like a bag of Slim has a preferred bonus of $15 American, $20 Canadian. So when you sell one bag of Slim to a preferred customer, they're going to get an extra 10% off, roughly. Like it's 10 to 13% off. I'll just say 10 for easy math. So they're going to get an extra 10% off on their first initial order and the next 4 orders after. And on month 5, they're going to get an additional 10% off. Okay. So, but along with that, you're going to get a preferred customer bonus. And so that is a great bonus to you for selling that product to that person. And then you're also going to get a commission back, also 15 to 25%. Okay. So with retail preferred and ambassador, everybody gets a 60-day money back guarantee. Okay, on a one-time product. So you get to return your product one time. and we have a less than 1% return rate. So it's just something where we don't have a lot of returns. In fact, a girl asked me today, that was the first thing she said, can I return my MetaBurn and my Hunger Control Slim? And I was like, you can, but you're not going to, because nobody does. Like, I just like shut her down. I was just like, we weren't going to the return before you don't even have it in your mailbox yet. So, you know, so then ambassadors. So when I first initially started the business, I was putting everybody as ambassadors. Like, that's just how I grew my business super quick, got those points coming in, you know, to get the PVs. Everybody was super excited. And then we kind of learned that, you know, that's really, really great. That's really great. As long as you can guarantee they're going to order 100 PV. And so you want to have that conversation with people. Are you willing to put in 100 PV per month? And can you commit to that for at least 60 to 90 days? So that is pre-qualifying your ambassador. Another way of pre-qualifying somebody, you might say something like, would you like to get your products paid for? Doesn't mean you have to grow a big team, but would you like to at least get your products paid for? So we want to at least get you getting some, you know, a little bit of commission coming in, maybe about $200 a month. Would you be willing to share? And let me show you what that looks like. And then, you know, then of course you're going to have those people that they understand what we're doing, and they're just going to be like, yeah, I want the cheapest way possible. That was me. I want the cheapest way possible. I'll get a welcome pack because I know I can get out of anything. So, you know, like, I was willing to take that risk. And so you'll just have those people that will just understand that mindset of things, and they'll automatically become ambassadors. I've got several people on my team that have been with me for years that they order faithfully 100 PV, but they're not interested in doing the business. And they're equally as important to the growth of my team because they provide me with my profit sharing point when that 100 PV goes through. And we'll discuss that on the comp plan. But they're equally important to me because they add value to our team too. So you'll have those people who just do not want to work the business, but they get the 100 PV or more, and they also make commission on just their own products. So I have a husband and wife team. They order usually about $300 a month. So they're going to make roughly about, I'm horrible at math, but I think it's like $30 or something like that, right? So to them, that's what they're fine with that. So they're great. So they make awesome ambassadors, and I treat them just like I would a wholesale customer. And I usually touch base with them once a month. Like, just, and they're so used to the product, like I don't have to talk product to them, and they're used to their emails and all that kind of stuff. It's more or less I keep my relationship with them going. Just because I feel they're safe and secure doesn't mean I don't keep my relationship with them, right? So I'll usually just touch base and say, hey, how you making out? Like, is everything going great? You know, so happy to have you guys still on my team. Like, you know, what's happening? So I usually keep that relationship going. And then another thing too is if you have, say, a husband and wife team, like Paul just had a husband and wife team order. There is the welcome packs that would probably work really well with them. And I'm not sure if this is the welcome pack that you guys sold to them, because I know it's coming out, but I don't know if it's in the back office. I haven't checked, but there is a double welcome pack coming of the balance pack, I believe it is. So in that case, when you have a husband and wife team, or you know, maybe you have a girl, like a woman, and she has a girlfriend like that wants to do the product too, but they're not quite ready to commit yet, they could take that double welcome pack, for example, and split the cost of that pack, which would really make things, oh, they got the career pack. Okay, I love that career pack too, because you can sell those 3 trial packs for $30 each. So that's $90 right there back. So that's a great thing. But anytime you can have people like splitting a pack between either a husband and wife, or maybe 2 friends or something, they can share the cost. That's a great welcome pack to be promoting to people. Okay, and we'll discuss the bigger welcome pack, why that's a great opportunity for all of us. So we'll discuss that with the comp plan. Let's see. Oh, profit sharing. So when you bring ambassadors on, like I mentioned earlier about profit sharing points, we do profit share in an $800 million company equally. So we all take advantage of the profit sharing point equally, of 40%, 45% of the profit share. So when all of us put through our 100 PV, a profit share point generates, and depending on whose team you're on, what level you're on, it depends on what number it correlates with. So for my upline, I'm worth 5 points to her when I put my 100 PV through, okay? And profit sharing points also work towards ranking you. So if you're somebody who's wanting to rank in the company, they have a double, they have a double purpose. They have pay points, and then they have ranking points, and they both equal the same amount of points, but they get paid out differently, okay? I think that was all I had to say about customer and ambassadors. So before I move on to the comp plan, I want to unmute you guys, and I want you to ask me some questions if you have any questions about customers versus ambassadors.
Can you talk about, I don't know if you talked about it because I had to step out for 5 minutes, but talk about the, oh my God, the bonus signups, like the $25 if you sell the welcome pack. And I'm not sure, I didn't have a chance to check what the career builder one was, if you know what the new welcome packs are.
I forget what's in them, but we'll discuss the bonuses when we go to the comp plan part.
Okay.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, thanks.
Yeah, and sorry, I don't remember what's in those new packs. There's 3 new packs coming out, and one of them has ease in it. Like a lot of people wanted ease in amongst a lot of other things, and so there's ease in it. There is a double balance pack, which is really great. And they're all, I think they're all 265 packs, because we're going to be doing away with the lower packs. That's something we're requesting of people so that we don't have that option to choose those, and we'll get used to choosing the larger welcome packs. But that's down the road though.
Are those the Canadian ones?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
You said the preferred customers, for the first 3 orders, they get the 10% approximately, and then the 4th order, they get an additional 15%. Is that ongoing? So then they would get 25% off, or do they have to do the 3 orders again?
I think it's an extra 10% off on the when they work through. So what it is, it's a bit confusing. The first order that you put through as a preferred customer doesn't count. So it works out the 3 consecutive orders after that. So it would be on month 5 where they actually get that extra 10%, as long as
Okay.
they order then as a preferred customer. They don't have to order all the same products. They just have to stay in the system as a preferred customer. Okay.
Okay, and so after the 5, they have that extra bonus that continues after that.
Yeah, as long as they never disrupt their orders of their products.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind making a comment about the customers versus ambassadors.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like, I spent 12 years running my own business, and when I first was introduced to the Plexus Slim, it was about the product. I was hugely skeptical, and I took it for 7 days, and it was amazing. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to qualify people for what I should be offering them. What I should be offering them, because there's a fantastic business opportunity to all this, but not everybody, I think, is like you had mentioned a minute ago, Krista, about how that some people, they become a preferred customer, and I think that's one of the things that attracted me to the compensation plan that Plexus had, was the fact that like, it starts out all about the product, and then you don't want to be too quick to necessarily push someone towards being an ambassador if that opportunity is not for them, because otherwise I think what's going to happen is you're going to spend a lot of time with working with people that maybe really don't want to do it as a business, and it's going to take away from why they started taking Plexus in the first place. So they would be better off staying as a customer. That's why with, like, Gerald and Sydney that signed up tonight, I knew he was going to go right for the business opportunity, because he runs his own business. He immediately saw the benefit. compensation plan, and to me, like, you know, just the investment they made to get into it, I knew that that's what they were wanting, right?
Right. So
Right.
you are you're absolutely right. It's a if you could just, if you're not going to talk, you just unmute your or just mute your mic just so we don't have any scratchy noises. Thank you. So it is right in some ways, and I know it kind of sounds counterintuitive sometimes. We do work on a system where we try to at least get people to silver, because if you can get enough people rolling over into silver, you're eventually going to find somebody in that silver group that's going to be a rock star. But if you never give somebody the opportunity to at least look at silver, then you could miss out because you work through other people's people, right? So I have my level 1 and I ask her, okay, do you know, you might not want to grow the business, but do you know 3 people? Can you give me names of people that you can see this maybe helping? They'll be like, oh yeah, my mom, my sister, she needs, my best friends had IBS for years. So that's where we kind of like, they might not think they might want to do the business, but everybody knows somebody. So you kind of start small with them, not overloading them with so much information, and you start feeding them like verbiage to kind of help them to make that transition from I don't want to sell to okay, I could just tell, you know, quietly these 3 people, and she might tell her friend, and her friend might end up being a crazy rock star, like just like crazy, because I never intended to do the business, and then I got in like you guys and just saw the comp plan. I was like, holy cow, like how come people aren't lined up out the door for this, because it's the best opportunity, right? But had nobody ever gave me that opportunity, I might have been one of those ones that fell through the cracks. But I do understand. That's why we say about pre-qualifying people. If they're hesitant, they can always jump from preferred customer to ambassador at some point. So if you see somebody's ordering $200 worth of product every single month, it would almost be wrong not to tell them you need to be an ambassador, because you're leaving money on the table. So let's move you over to ambassador. They might not be your rock star, but they're going to be worth 5 points to you. And when you're you know, say close to gold and you need that 5 points, and they put their $100 order through, you know, cha-ching, you went gold. So there's those people that they all have value on the team, but it is pre-qualifying. Now, if you bring grandma in, she doesn't even know how to use a phone hardly, and she, you know, she has to get you to do all her sign-ups and everything. She is like wrong to be an ambassador, probably, because it's going to cause you more grief than anything as far as business, running the business, right? And so she's better off as a preferred customer, because
Yeah, so I think you're articulating a lot better what I was what I was driving at, because in this business, before I signed up as ambassador, I went right over that compensation plan, and I had been involved in the past, as I know a lot of us probably have been, with some sort of a direct seller's business. And it all starts out, hey, look, we've got great products, and the rest of it is whiteboards and circles, right? And it just seems to totally detract away from the product. The product gets forgotten, and it's all about recruiting.
right,
And what attracted me to this business was so many different, well, actually what attracted me to the business is I felt great taking the product is what really attracted me. But there's so many ways to earn, and no matter where you're at individually, whether you are entrepreneurial minded and want to do something for yourself to build a business, or you just want to be a consumer, or you just want to make enough to cover your product every month, there's something for everybody.
right. Yes, you're exactly right. Because like I say, somebody might not want to build the business because they don't want it might not be in their their wherewithal to balance a team, and that just kind of, they don't want to work with that many people, but they might want to make $200 or 200, I think 330 or $20 you can make off of 5 customers, right? about 300 Canadian. So that's a lot of money to some people, and it's only probably 5 girlfriends on Joyum, right? So that's so easy for somebody who doesn't want to grow the business, and they're happy with that. But then you come across, super red, aggressive me, who I'm like, whoa, I this opportunity here, I just got to go out and find people. And that's where I have to pre-qualify people too, right? And not shove the business down their throat, even though we have an amazing business and amazing products. I know that, but you're right. Like I said that today at the meeting I was at today that I did in Freyton. I said, I'm not going to get up here and tell you percentages and tell you, show you graphs, and I'm not even going to show you the comp plan. I'm just going to break it down super easy. If you have 100 PV in your back office and all your team has 100 PV, you can do whatever you want. So I just broke it down like right simple, and they appreciated that, because you're right. I think too many times we're preaching about, this percentage and that percentage, and you can make this much. Well, if people don't know about network marketing and what that all means, that just goes in one ear and out the other ear, and you sound like a network marketer recruiter, right? So we are about the products. And we are equally about the business, so it's a balance, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like listening to you and Paul, I find that I have way more success of people becoming customers first, because I can judge if they're ready or not. And most people are, like you said, because you can get, all they need is 3 people. That's it. They don't need to build a big business if they don't want to, but if they can at least get their products for free, they're going to continue buying, right?
Yeah.
But then the ones, once they've been a customer for a while, you can tell the ones that are going to run with it. And I feel that was my mistake sometimes, is that I would try to get people too fast and discovered that it was too much pressure, and they didn't have a chance to I didn't have a chance to discover if they were runners, walkers, or whatever the other one is. I can't remember.
Run, was it walk, run, and sprint? That's the new lingo.
Sprint, yes.
Well, one of the things that Cindy and I did when we ran our 7-day challenge was we decided that we would charge $30 a piece for everybody that wanted to participate. Now, my logic behind that, and I discussed this with Cindy, was that it's difficult to give away a bunch of 7-day challenges just just whimsically. But the way I looked at it is that anybody that I know would go to the drugstore and pay $30 for a bottle of vitamins. Anybody would. So,
and they're more invested.
I felt
when they pay for it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Committed,
if you're not, yes, I totally agree. And Melanie too. Like like we felt that if you're not willing to spend $30 to better your health, you're not going to buy a bag of Plexus per month.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't be giving your stuff away. I mean, it's okay to give a stick here and there and things like that, but those trial packs, I mean, you are right, Paul. People will pay for it, no problem. And so, and usually, you guys don't wait for a 7-day challenge either. I mean, these guys obviously have done their own challenge, and it's just was a little mini challenge. And it's easy to do that with anybody on your own. Even you don't even need to have a team of people to do it, because a lot of times people say, when's the next 7-day challenge? And I'll be really, really honest with you. 7-day challenges work. And I came in on a 7-day or a 3-day trial pack. So, I mean, I'm an advocate of trial packs, but I like working with my people individually, because I can control what information I'm giving them. And I can also control how they're doing, right? So sometimes the big group ones, and I mean, we've had group ones that have had like 200 people in them. But people get lost in there. And sometimes people are shy. They don't want to speak up, but they'll work with you individually. So kudos to you guys for doing a private one. Don't get me wrong. If you've done a 7, I know Erica Allen just did an amazing one. She had 50 people on. She did a great job. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't wait on a trial pack challenge to do your business, right? And that's where I get a little like wiggly about it, because I'm like, if I have one, like I canceled the February 4th one because there wasn't much interaction, because everybody was doing their own challenges, which is great. That's awesome. And I was super happy about that. But I know there was some people that were delaying their business till February 4th because they were waiting for that challenge, and that delays business. And that's where I get a little squirrely about that kind of stuff. So I always just say, get your trial packs. I try to like get about 5 out a month. So get your trial packs ordered for February, and just in your mind have that idea, I'm going to get rid of 5 trial packs with the hopes of having 5 new customers in February, right? So that, and then start feeding them through information through Messenger.
Home button, then click Add Extension to continue.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're going to move on. I think we kind of covered up a lot of that kind of stuff there, and we can always ask questions later, so mark your questions down if you have more. So what I'm going to do is I'll mute you all, and then I'm going to go do the compensation plan, okay? And let's hope that I can get you over there without too much effort. I say that, but where is it at? Let's see. Okay, can you guys see that? Yeah? Okay. Get up to the top. Okay, so the Plexus compensation plan. I'm more confused than a chameleon in a bag of Skittles. Some people can get really like, when I saw this, it was just like an aha moment to me. In fact, I took it to my brother who has a company. I was like, Bradley, I solved like world peace, like with this compensation plan. I was so excited about it because I felt like it was the most easiest thing ever. It just popped at me. And so as we're working down through this, always remember the only thing you need to have is 100 PV. Okay, that is what commission qualifies you for everything. You do not have to stock product. You don't have to have parties. You don't have to do a certain amount of presentations. You don't have to do anything but have 100 PV through your back office. That's the bare minimum. If you could just mute your mic wherever you are. I'm not sure where it is. So the 100 PV is key. So that's like Joyum, day and night, or the Balance Pack, which is only 3 products. So just kind of keep that in mind. So I like to look at it as that we're breaking this down into 2 ways. We have the retail commissions, and then we have the team building commissions. So we have 2 different parts of our compensation plan. So the first, I'm just going to move these guys down out of the way there. I think what I'll do actually is I'm going to stop my video, and then that way, maybe I can't do that. No, it won't let me. Can you guys see the screen okay, like everything? Okay. So it costs per year for our website $39.95 US or $53.38 Canadian per year to maintain your website. And that gives you all your training modules, everything that's in there. And at Plexus, we even have our own customer service. We don't have to do anything. Like I say, all our job really is to go out and find people to join us as a customer or ambassador. So what is PV? PV is personal volume. Every product has a PV. All PV is in American dollars. So it doesn't matter whether we go into Australia in April, where we're going, or we're in Canada now. The PV is in American dollars. So whatever the exchange is for that country gets added to that PV. So right now our exchange is 133.626. That's for January until July, and then after July 2019, it's going to be evaluated again. It gets evaluated bi-yearly. Okay, so you just add that to your PV. To be commission qualified, you need to have 100 PV each month, or for us, it's 133 PV, but it's going to show up in your back office as 100 PV. So we're going to talk about the retail side of things, which is our first way of, out of 10 ways in Canada, but it really works out to be 11. So retail commissions is to activate your commission, you only need that 100 PV, and I'm going to keep saying that. You're going to be like, why does she keep saying 100 PV? It's because I want that to get through that 100 PV is all you need. So if all your team has 100 PV, all of this is going to work out. So the first 100 PV has 0 commission attached to it. That goes back to Plexus for the lights. It goes back to pay their staff. It goes back to do whatever they do with it. After that, 100 to 499 PV is 15% commissioned. And then 500 PV and up is 25% commission, but it is retro back to the 100 PV. Okay, so you get the full percentage on the whole amount of the PV. So this is also included in your PV goes into this, and so does your customers. And as you can see, when you go over 500 PV, the jump in the commission is quite significant. And that's why sometimes your team leader might reach out to you and say, hey, you know, you have 350 PV. If you put in another $150 order, like go find another customer, you will jump over that mark to get that 25% commission. And that's really, really great. So, you know, if your team leader reaches out to you, they're not looking after their best interest. They're looking after your best interest, because it doesn't affect them at all in what they get paid. They're just giving you the, you know, the heads up for yourself, because we do not take advantage of your PV at all. The only thing, and I'll show you on the next screen, where we only have a retail commission from our level 1. So, you know, if I reached out to Cindy and I said, Cindy, you're at $4.99. Can you order, like, you know, go get a trial pack and jump yourself over 500 PV? Then Cindy would be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yeah, sure. Because she's going to get that extra commission, right? And it only goes solely to her, not to me or anybody above her. So then, let me see, did I do this? Oh, no, I'm going to go back to, I think it's on my next slide, sorry. So preferred customer bonus. Each Plexus product has a bonus amount attached to it. This is a bonus to you that is added on top of your retail commissions. Okay, so you're going to get your retail commissions plus the preferred bonus for your PV when you have a preferred customer come in. So a bag of Slim, for example, is $15 preferred customer bonus attached to your commission, or $20 Canadian. Okay, so it's going to be $20 Canadian plus 15% if you stay under that $4.99 bracket. That's a lot of extra income for a bag of Slim, right? That's a really great income just for selling one bag of Slim. So you can imagine if you had 5 girlfriends who bought Joyum from you, right? There's a lot of commission just there. So now that we're going to jump into the team building portion, which I have to say is my absolute favorite part of the commission. And so we're going to do business building bonuses, like Mal was asking about that. And we have our welcome packs. We now have 2 welcome packs that are valued at $133. Sometimes you'll hear me call them the 99 because that's what we were used to. And then we have the 199 or the 265 Canadian. Okay, so it's got the US and the Canadian prices. So how we're paid out on those business building bonuses for the Canadian side, we don't call them business building bonuses. So you'll see this actually missing on the actual printout when you see the commissions in the back office for the compensation plan. And the reason why is because in Canada, we can't call these business building bonuses. We actually just call them monthly incentives, okay? So you'll get an email probably at the first of the month saying, this is our monthly incentive. It's really the business building bonus that the US version has. So that's just kind of a little, you know, awareness about that. So of the $99 welcome pack, we are paid 50% back on that for our, when we sponsor a level 1. When our level 1 sponsors level 2, they're going to get 20. No, let me back up on that. Sorry. When my level 4 sponsors somebody, I'm going to get a 10% back on that commission for that welcome pack. My level 3 above me is going to get 15%. Level 2 is going to get 25%, and then 50% payout. So that's where that breakdown comes from. It's paid 4 levels deep. Okay. So if you go to the commission income side of that, it looks like for a $99 welcome pack, but now it's also the $199 welcome pack. Sorry, it sounds so confusing. We're also paid the exact same now. It used to not be this way, but now it's exactly the same, which makes it super easy. So if I sponsor somebody, I'm going to make $25, whether it's the small welcome pack or the big welcome pack, $33 Canadian. My girl above me is going to make $16.70. The girl above her is going to make $10. The girl above her is going to make $6.61. Okay, so again, 4 levels deep is how that commission is, or 4 levels up is how that's paid up. Okay, that's a great residual that you're paid out every Friday. So we get paid every Friday on this. And as your team gets building and momentum gets happening, and I just want to say this about momentum. Momentum is created by excitement and camaraderie between the team and people cheering each other on. Momentum's not created by selling product and bringing people in. Momentum is actually created by the excitement that the people have, and other people want to be part of that excitement. So always remember that as you're seeing people do things, get behind them and cheer them on, because that's what people love to see. They like to see momentum happening on. So as you get that momentum happening and you get the commissions happening, it explodes. Okay, so this is what I was kind of stalling at back at the other spot, because retail rewards override commissions. This affects your level, when you're level 1, for their PV that they have by the end of the month. I get to take advantage of my level 1 5% commission, okay? And what that is not taken away from them in any way. They don't have anything taken off their commission. It's over and above what Plexus is paying them. So that's why it's really, really great to grow your team extremely wide, because, you know, if everybody puts in whatever it is over 100 PV, you get a 5% commission. So again, that's residual money coming in. Same as the welcome packs are residual. This is another residual that I don't have any control over. Say, you know, I have Mal here, for example. I'm not telling Mal, go out and get 500 PV. Like, Mal's doing her own thing, but when I see that she has 500 PV in her back office, I get to take 5% commission off of 400, because the first 100 goes back to Plexus, but it doesn't come off of Mal's. So that's why it's really great to grow wide, because you have more advantage to have that 500% commission really tally up and be a great retail commission. So achievement bonuses and fast start bonus. I took this out just before the meeting. I took the fast start out because it's been revamped and it's going to be set in place forevermore, what they presented at Super Saturday. So I didn't have time to figure it out. But fast start is, these are the bonuses for just the regular bonuses. Silver is you bring in 3 people, you're going to get a $100 bonus. They need to purchase either a welcome pack or put in 100 PV. Okay, they don't need to have a welcome pack, but they do need to have 100 PV. A gold ambassador has roughly about 20 people on their first 3 levels. You're going to get a $250 bonus. But as you're bringing these people in on your team, it's not just that bonus that you're getting. That's a one-time bonus, which is great. But these people typically are coming in with welcome packs. So you're also getting the welcome pack building bonus with that too. So it really does add up. A silver ambassador, for example, is, you know, if they come in with the 133 welcome pack, you're going to be making, well, actually it's with the bigger welcome pack too, because I keep forgetting that. You're going to be making a $175 bonus if you bring them in that first month. And that's why it's so key to really get with your new ambassadors and say, hey, who do you know? Like, let's put some faces out there in your mind of who you know that could use these products, and let's get you at least to silver and work with you there, and that you can increase their commission up to $175, and they're paid for their investment into becoming an ambassador is paid for. Okay. If you want to know about Fast Start, it is in the back office and it is amazing. Like, it's crazy amazing. Plexus Pay Points. Okay, this is my favorite part of the commission. And the Plexus Pay Points is, Plexus Pay Points is that we take advantage of an $800 million company equal. Okay, so all of the revenue goes into a pot or into a pie, and it is divided between how many ambassadors have 100 PV or more equally. 45% of that is divided equally. The other 5% that makes up the total 50 is held out, and I'll explain that later. So levels 1 to 7, we're paid points per level, whichever level, wherever you're at. So my levels 1 to 3 are worth 5 points when they put that 100 PV through. Levels 4 is worth 4 points. Level 5 is worth 3. Level 6 is worth 2. Level 7 is worth 1. And I just want to say this too, that as you're working with your team, a good strategy when you're working with your team is obviously you want to be working with your first 3 levels, but I've learned that I had a girl on I think she was on my level 8. She's now on my level 3, because you never know when people are just going to drop off and somehow or the commission, it compresses. So you want to try and build a relationship with people as they're coming in. Now, you cannot build a relationship with everybody. You could drive yourself bananas, but definitely you want to welcome people on your first 4 levels when you see them coming in, because they're worth points to you. And I'm the type of leader that I like to try and get to know people and do my best that way. But as people are coming in, so we mentioned about silver, that's 3 people on your team. Each of those 3 people on your first level are worth 5 points to you. So that's 15 points, okay? And then if you, trying to get my thing out of the way because I have the faces blocking what my stuff says down there. So 5 points, if you want to look at what one ambassador, when they put their 100 PV through to you, one ambassador orders 100 PV, they're worth 5 points to you. The profit sharing point value average is about 3, but we've all seen it go above 3, depending on what the products are that are being released and things like that, which MetaBurn, I'm assuming January is going to be like crazy profit sharing point because everybody's been ordering MetaBurn. But if, let's just say 3 for easy math, when one ambassador orders 100 PV, your commission is going to be about $15, okay? And that's American, so that works out to be about $20. That's on top of all the other bonuses that have come into you for having that ambassador join your team. That is like crazy, crazy serious money when you think about how many people can start coming into your team. I think on our team we have roughly about 3,500 people. Now they're not ordering all 100 PV. I wish they were, but they're not. That's what happens. But that can start to add up all those points, right? And then when you have them go silver, that's 45 points. So you can see the math there. So this is just a breakdown to show you, Plexus revenue is all at the middle of the pie. People take advantage of it all equally, 45%. I'm not going to go through all of this again because I kind of did it already on the side there, but we all equally profit share 45%. Doesn't matter if you're brand new or you've been in the business for 5 years or 10 years. We all profit share equally, and that is almost unheard of in any other company. Normally you have to jump through certain hoops. So you have to sell so much product and you have to have this lined up and that lined up and, a ruby on this leg and a ruby on this leg. And it's just so simple. We all just take advantage of the same pie. Okay. So this is what it would look like if you did it perfectly from your level 1 to your level 5 on down and just did silver. If everybody just went silver, this is what your commission would be like per month. Now, we all know that that is not how it all works out because not everybody will do what we ask them to do. We wish they would. But can you imagine the power of just silver with people, right? Now, I see on the left-hand side that black bullet is wrong because I changed that earlier, but it's supposed to be $5,000. So that's huge commission. And you can see that that's just all residual profit sharing points from just that one section of the compensation plan. So then I mentioned about the 5% that's held out to make the total of the 50%, and these are the jewel pools. So at Emerald, you get to take advantage of 3% of the 5%. So everything that's put into the jewel pool, once you reach Emerald, you get to take advantage of 3% of that. Your Sapphire, you take advantage of the 3 plus the 1. And then when you are Diamond, you take advantage of the 3, 1, and 1%, making the total 5. Okay. Now keep in mind that all we had to do all of this is put through 100 PV. So that's something you want to keep kind of telling your people, 100 PV, and imagine what that looks like. Envision that show them that vision. And then make it so much more sweeter. If you get to Diamond, and I know we all have our sights set on Diamond, but when you get there, you can actually enroll yourself under yourself because who do you know better to work for yourself than yourself? You don't have to tell yourself what to do. And so, I'm not going to tell myself, Krista, put your 100 PV through. I'm going to do it automatically. So I clone myself and I put myself under myself, and I can build another complete business under myself and do it all again while maintaining that other business. It's not like you give up your other, you have 2 running businesses cloned, okay? And we have 2 in the company, Celeste Gwen, who is kind of like my idol. I just love Celeste. She's a powerhouse. And then Jen Hawkins is just an absolutely adorable, adorable person. And then also at Emerald level, you get to have your choice of a white Lexus, Emerald and Sapphire, and those are the models that are available right now. And then at Diamond, you get to choose one of the black cars, okay? And the one that I have is the NX series, which is the middle white one. And those are the bonuses that you get for your car payment. It is a 3-year lease, and those are US amounts. And the amount that I get just almost covers the payments. There's a little, I cut some bells and whistles, and so it doesn't quite cover it, but it almost does. And then if you don't want a car, you don't have to take a car. You can take a lifestyle bonus instead. Some people might be quite happy with their truck or whatever they have, and they might want to go and get a side-by-side or a new boat or something like that. So you can actually take a lifestyle bonus instead. And I think that's a completely genius thing, especially for people who, they don't want a fancy car or something. They like trucks or whatever, so they can take a lifestyle bonus. And then at Emerald, you get your trip for 2 to Hawaii, and it is a completely paid for trip. Not all of our trips are completely paid for. Some are earned, some we have to pay for ourselves, but Hawaii is completely paid for 2 people. And we stay at the Fairmont in Maui. We've stayed there quite a bit. And then also there is, I don't think I have it on here. No. Whoops, sorry. Oh gosh, sorry. I was going to say there is another trip that the Diamonds go to a trip prior to the Emerald Extravaganza trip, and they stay there for, I think it's like 3 nights, and then they're moved over to the Emerald trip, and we all hang out together. And so there is another trip that was added prior to doing this slide. So that's a great, great incentive. And of course, you can do this. I believe everybody can do this. I really do. I don't believe it's like it's outside of anybody's, you can do whatever you want to do. And that's what the beauty of Plexus. And I absolutely love that. I'm going to see if I can get out of here. Okay. Okay, so let's chat about that. And I'm going to unmute you, but if you're not speaking, if you could mute yourself manually, just so we don't have a lot of chatter and like scratchy noises and things. And then if you want to talk, just feel free to talk though. So everybody's unmuted.
Okay, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Okay.
As you're
Well, hey,
smoking your cigar there, I see.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to hide it. It's one of my guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask was, you had mentioned earlier on about when you have people under you that are really close to hitting the 500 PV, about encouraging them to, buy a pack of Plexus or whatever to put them over the 500 mark. So do I take that to mean that you can see the PD value of all the people who are under you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, you can. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to ask you was, at what point does the profit sharing kick in? Like you talked a lot about profit sharing, like the percentages that were coming from the company as a whole.
Yeah, that as soon as you put your 100 PV through, you start profit sharing, or like your team puts their 100 PV through. So as soon as that first $100 is processed, you get a profit sharing point automatically. And you'll see it start tallying in your back office.
Okay, and the last thing I wanted to say is, you mentioned if you have some girlfriends, okay, well, Plexus is for guys too.
Sorry. That is true.
It is.
It is the biggest issue we have, that we always refer to girls. Yes, we do. So welcome to the club.
I feel outnumbered.
Well, you know what? I would just prove them wrong, that it doesn't matter what color the pink drink is or what,
Yeah.
how many women are involved. I would prove them wrong, because in actually corporate, we have really talked to corporate hard about, you have to masculinize some things, even our print material and stuff like that, because this business, I mean, there's so many opportunities for men, and it is more focused to women for sure, but that does not mean that men cannot do it for sure.
Do they still have the Men of Plexus group?
I'll ask.
What's that?
Ask Rob Heffley if they do. Yeah.
They had a Men of Plexus group on Facebook.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I've got Gerald working with me now, so we'll have to blaze a trail.
That's right. I just put them right on their ear. That's what I would do.
Not that you can't be in our groups. You can be in all of our groups.
Hey,
That's right.
There's a Men
a
of
lot of
Plexus
fun.
group. They talk.
We'll all be walking around with pink shirts on, which I thought would never happen.
You already are
You
in the
never know.
Yeah, I would just show them what you can do. Anybody else have any questions? Everybody knows the comp plan. That's awesome. That's great.
I have a question, Krista, that doesn't pertain to the comp plan, but when are we going to, maybe we're not going to. I see that the trial packs for the lean are available in the US, but it doesn't look like we're going to get them.
Yeah, we are actually. They're going to be about probably 8 weeks before we get them, because the French translation on the packaging, they have to do a new run on those. So they're going to be about 8 weeks. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You
Great.
can order them from the States if you have a friend in the States, or I'll probably order them to Holton or something like that. So you can just switch.
Krista, Krista, one other question Gerald had asked me tonight. Gerald runs a business he repairs coffee machines for different locations. Is there any limitations to, say, selling any of this retail, in the sense of if a coffee shop wanted to sell the lean as a drink?
You could sell it as a pack. I don't think you can sell it as a drink, mix it up and sell the drink that way.
Okay.
I think they probably would have some. I've never actually been asked that, but you can sell the pack retail. The only thing about that you'll run into is if you start encouraging people to sell retail out of their establishments. They can,
Right.
Not that they can't. It's that people will try to undercut prices. So if any advertising to sell retail, to actually sell it for the retail, not the, some people will be happy making $5 off a bag of Slim, and that just all of us. So
yes. No, I'll let him know that. That was a question that he had, but I kind of expected that because he's always thinking, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, to be honest, I don't know. That's a good question, maybe for product control, because, maybe if he does have a little smoothie bar, he could use them, and that would be a write-off for him to have that product there and use it for that. I've never been asked that, to be honest with you. Anybody
He
else?
doesn't have that business.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there an advantage to, now when I place my order, Paul, my husband, I have him as a preferred customer. Is that how husband and wife should do it, or should I just put his order through me?
I think it's just as cheap to put it through you, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're paying double shipping and things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And another thing about the comp plan that I get a lot asked about is, because you can sign your spouse up when you go gold, you can sign your spouse up. And it's a totally personal choice, whatever you want to do. But I find that when people do that, and I think this is pretty much the standard idea with everybody that's, ranking up, is it slows your growth when you start building on your husband's team. you know, so you should always get one at least to Emerald before you actually sign the other one up. Now, there's advantages to having your husband doing it that way too. There's some financial benefits. But if your idea is to get to Diamond as quick as possible, you want to build under you first and then put him in when you're a jewel. Like if it's bigger money at the jewel rank than what you would be making if you were slowing your growth down by bringing him in first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it would be better for my wife and I just to order under me than for her to order from me as a preferred customer.
Yeah. Yes, Heidi. Oh, I thought you just were waving. Okay, we're at an hour, which I think that is probably really good. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Did anybody get a thought for us to advertise it? Because I think it's great to advertise all our goings on and our shenanigans so everybody can see what we're doing. And promotion of team things is big. It really does help that momentum because people, you know, we get 25 people on it. It's really great. So if somebody caught a shot, that would be great. Okay, so next week, same time, same place. And I always say, look to your left, look to your right. Who's not going to be here next week?
Krista.
You might miss out.
Krista, can I?
Yes, absolutely, Julie.
I just want to double check because last week we did an hour earlier, so that kind of threw people off. Yeah, so I just want to confirm, is this the time we're going to stick with?
What do you guys like, 8 or 9?
I find 9's fine.
Yeah, 9's fine.
Okay. Sorry about that, Julie. I totally, you know me. I'm just like a scatter.
No.
You don't have to be smart to do this business. You just need to know how to talk. I'm not going to claim that. Oh, gosh. Well, okay, you guys. We'll say goodnight. It was great to meet you. And happy for your team, too, that you've brought in your first ambassador. That was great. Awesome.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Nova Scotia!
Yes.
Yes, they're wanting to build Nova Scotia, which we need somebody in Nova Scotia. We really do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
do
is
it.
really great to sign up the first ambassador. It feels real good.
Yes.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, good night, everybody.
Good night,
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Krista.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.